All right. Today we'll be creating a process using we'll be creating an RPA, a robotic process automated that'll move files for you. And so we're gonna go ahead and come over here to new project. We're gonna click process, and the name we're gonna say is moving files. You go ahead and create. I'll go and take y'all out of this. Wait. All right, so here we are. So here we're on our main right here. So what we want to go ahead and do is we want to take a flow chart and we're going to drop it into here into our activity on our main sequence. We'll go ahead and double click to open up our flow chart here. All right, now that we're in our flow chart, we'll just drag sequence over here. And there we go. And now what we want to do is we want to make sure that these two are connected. So there we go. Then we'll open up our sequence. And then we're actually going to go ahead and call this sequence something a little bit more meaningful. We're going to call it moving files between folders. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create some variables here. So first one's going to be number of files. And we want this as a array, but we want it to be a string array. So we're going to click string there. Okay. Then we're going to create a new variable. All right. And the next variable that we're creating is called counter. And we want it listed as an integer 32. And then source path is going to be our last variable. And we're going to go ahead and leave this as a string. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our assign here. We're going to drag it into here. And we're going to say save to. So this is going to be our number of files. All right. And then this is going to be one. This one is going to be directory. Dot get files. And then we're just going to finish it up with source path. Okay. All right, so now that we have this assigned, we're gonna want to go ahead and do a message box to tell us that, hey, we've done this, and essentially just to give us a message once it's done moving files. So what we're first gonna do is do number of files dot count dot to string. And then we're just going to add onto that in quotations, files to be. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to go ahead and put one space before files and our quotation mark. That way it creates that space between the number of files that we're moving and then what we're saying files to be moved. We'll go ahead and expand this out to be like this as well. That way we can get a better look at everything there. All right, and that should be good for that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do another assign. Essentially, what we want to do is we want to set our counter to 0 each time. So counter right there, and then we're going to just say equals 0. Because if we don't do that, then it's not going to know where to start. So we're just going to do, so we just want to make sure that we're setting that counter, that integer, to 0 each time we do this. All right, so now we want to create a for each. So over here and do for each. Here we are. Add it in. And should be for each. 1 minute. Okay, so the list of items should be number files and item. We want it to be set it for current item. We want to make sure it's just for item. There we go. And then here in this body, we're actually going to go ahead and create our move file. Move file. I'm going to add it into our body here. And so now we can see a from and to there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and set our destination. And I went ahead and copied the file path. So what you kind of just want to do is come up into here within like your file explorer. And you can just right click there and copy address. And we want to set this as our destination. So we're just going to do Control V. And we want to make sure that, as you can see, that I have forgotten to put our quotations in. So now, there we go. All right, so now we've set our destination. All right, now we're gonna go back under our variables here and go to our source path, and in our default, make sure we put our quotations, and then we're gonna copy over our file source, essentially. So in order to do that, we have our file source here. Again, it's the same as we did with the destination. You just right click here and copy address. And then you just come over here, make sure you put it in double quotation marks, and then just copy in the file address there. All right, now we're going to do another assign here. And essentially we're going to, for that, we're going to do counter. And the value to save is going to be counter plus 1. There we go. That's the way it's just going to keep taking all the files more and more from the file path that we have chosen. All right, so we want to make sure for our body in our move files, we want to make sure that the from is item. It's just how it works. And so we're going to go ahead and click here, debug file. Yep, okay, so it does say 0 files to be moved. That is correct because right now we don't have any files in there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to, whoopsies, no, stop. Sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and put some files in here. So let's take, these 3 files. Let's put them in our file source. So now we can see that we have some files within our file source there. All right, and we will try this one more time. So we will click right here, or run. It says 3 files to be moved. And I click OK. Now we can go in here. So we can see our file source is now empty. And if we go to our file destination, we now have our 3 files that have been moved over. So it looks like everything is working so far on this. All right, and now that we know that works, that is the end of our moving files RPA that we have created here. So with that, that'll be the end of the video. Thank you very much.